By the thumbnail, you already see how this video gonna go. So I'm gonna talk about how I failed my first year in trucking. And it's not as bad as y'all think, but I think it's bad because I wanted my business to be a certain way my first year, but it's cool. So backstory first, I grew up around trucking. My granddad had trucks, my uncle drove, my dad used to drive. So something I've always been around. It wasn't nothing really new to me. But when I dropped out of college in 2021 and came home from school, I didn't know what I really wanted to do. My cousin introduced me back into the actual trucking business. But February of 2022, February 28th, I bought my first truck. I bought a Peterbilt. And that Peterbilt had 1.7 million miles on it. So it was already kind of like a bad truck, but the deal that I got on it was an amazing deal. So I ended up buying it. Mind you, I didn't know nothing about insurance. I didn't know nothing about an authority. I didn't know nothing about none of that shit. Now stay to the end because it's not gonna be what y'all think, right? But I didn't know nothing about none of this stuff. So once I got the truck, I told my granddad, like, hey, I'm about to go, I bought a truck. I'm gonna go on the road. He was like, no, you're not. I said, yes, I am. He was like, well, did you get your authority? I'm like, what is that? So I had to get a mentor, start learning a lot about the trucking business. I didn't get my truck on the road until June, July for after I learned a lot and I got insurance and also my authority and stuff, right? Now, my first time ever being on the road, of course, everybody know, new authority, a lot of people will not work with you, right? So my first year, I can say my first 6 months of trucking was the worst 6 months of my life because I wasn't able to, of course, make the money that I wanted, or that I thought I was gonna make. So my first year in trucking, I was in the red. 2, I didn't want to learn how to relearn, and that's what trucking is for. Trucking, you have to learn how to relearn. And then 3, I didn't want to build relationships with other owner operators. I didn't want to talk to other people that have been in the industry for a long time because I didn't really care. Of course, me being young, I was more like, I can do this by myself, which I knew I couldn't, right? So now, from us being in trucking in 2023, a lot of stuff changed. 2023, top of the year. Well, I bought my second truck December 15th, 2022. Top of the year, January 2023, I told myself I was gonna lock in. I started building relationships with direct shippers. I started building bonds with brokers, dispatchers, other owner operators, especially where I park my truck at, especially when I used to go to the dock. Because I go on the road with my driver sometimes just because. And once I started going over the road with them in 2023, every other month or every blue moon for I was building bonds with other owner operators, talking to other people that was in this trucking industry just because I'm young as hell and I know they got more information than me. So I had to put my guard down and put my pride to the side to learn from other people that was in this business. So I ended up getting my first contract in 2023. It was amazing. I was still in the reds because I had to recover from having a business being fucked up in 2022. So 2023, I was still trying to get out the reds for real. Fast forward down the line, a second truck broke down. I had to spend a lot of money for maintenance on that end, but it was cool because how I separated my money was I had 4 different accounts. I had a maintenance and repairs account, truck note, truck insurance, everyday spending, and I had a high yield account. But you got to think about it. I told you I was in the red. So I used to have 0% interest credit cards and I used to just liquidate them and use them as cash and fund all those businesses. So with that being said, I was able to turn credit into cash to do that towards my business. But I had to do what I had to do. But I paid it all off, so I'm perfectly fine. But later on that year, got the truck fixed, blase. Ended up getting another dedicated lane with this company called La Bodega in Texas, hauling reefer. All right, now 2023 started going good. I started to get out the red a lot more, right? Now we hit 2024. 2024 was probably my most amazing year possible because, like I said, I built a lot of relationships with a lot of direct shippers, right? And a lot of owner operators. So it was stuff that I needed, and I used to go through other owner operators that I knew, or I used to go through the direct shippers because I had their personal number because I built those bonds with them. So anything that I needed within work, I had end up getting. But what trucking is, what people don't understand is, if you do not build relationships with other people, I promise you 9 times out of 10, you won't last that long, right? Now, from there, 2025, now I can say my business is being ran the perfect way because of me putting my pride aside. Now, from 2022 to 2025, which is 3 years later, I can say I've scaled my business faster, and I scaled it to the point where I feel like I can run it, and not running in my sleep, but I feel like I got it down pack, right? Now, in order for that to even happen, I have wonderful drivers. Everybody know drivers is probably the hardest thing to find in trucking, but like what I like to tell everybody, I feel like there's not a shortage of drivers, it's a shortage of trucking businesses making their company likable available for drivers to drive for them. And of course, I've talked to a lot of people. The drivers that I have are amazing drivers. My drivers are wonderful. My older driver is 55, my youngest one is 46, and they love to drive. And also, my drivers help me out a lot just because they've been in this industry for years and years and years. So they got a lot of information on the industry. So that means if I got questions sometimes, and I do have questions, every business owner have questions. When I have questions, guess what? I'm like, yo, bro, how can I such and such? Or like, example, my Peterbilt needs an overhaul. And I didn't know I needed the overhaul, but him being a wonderful driver, he said, yo, Josh, I think we need to do an overhaul on the truck because we had 2.5 million miles. I said, all right, cool. What we gonna do on it? Top end or bottom end? He said, well, let's do the bottom end because that's where the power comes from. I was like, cool, let's do it. So my business is able to be ran a perfect way because I trust my drivers. My other truck I sent to Texas because that's where my driver lives at. I don't have to have my truck in Atlanta with me because why? I don't drive. So it does me a disservice of it being with me anyway. I sent my truck up there with him. I pay for parking up there and down in Atlanta, right? So I just knew my business can scale a lot faster without me being in the truck because me personally, I knew where I was strong at. I'm not strong at driving a truck. I was strong at running a business. So I took myself out of that position of actually being a driver into owning trucks where I can build my business faster being outside of that truck. And that's really how I did everything from 2022 to 2025, because if I would have drove a truck, my business probably would have failed because that load would never get there because I don't like driving. So with that being said, I was able to actually call the plays. I'm like a quarterback. I'd rather call the plays and throw the ball and let everybody else score. And that's what I did with my drivers. My drivers know where they have to be at every day. I pay my drivers wonderful, but that's the thing. When becoming a trucking business owner, it's a lot. It's not how people make it seem. It's not easy and it's not hard. Everything is hard until you learn it. I feel like if you learn trucking and actually do your due diligence of putting in the work, you'll be okay. So now being in 2025, my next project in trucking will be doing trucking parking lots and going and then just continue just to have fun and continue to grab more trucks. I'm about to go get another one before I start doing the trucking parking lot, or I might just jump straight into trucking parking lot. But that's my transparency on how I did my first year in trucking, which was horrible. But I've grown a lot and I've scaled my business a lot faster than 2022, and I've made a lot more money than I ever did my first year. So if this video was helpful, like and subscribe. I'm gonna be dropping a whole lot more. Appreciate y'all.